Welcome to the PALEYFEST Fall TV Previews. I'm Shelby Stewart, Associate Editor for Essence, and I'm delighted to be your host for this special conversation celebrating OWN's series Heart and Hustle Houston. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome members of the show's cast and creative team. Joining us are Madison Merritt, Executive Vice President, Unscripted Content and Alternative Programming, Jesse Collins Entertainment, and the stars of Heart and Hustle Houston, beauty maven Alaina Saulsberry, event planner Chloe Cook, PR powerhouse Latoria Lemon, elite spa owner LeBrina Jackson, electrical engineer turned content creator Muneera Page, and restaurateur Roe Pichardo. So welcome everyone. Let's start our program.
Hello.
Thank you.
So Madison, I want to start with you. Jesse Collins Entertainment has had incredible library producing some of the most exciting event programming on television today, from the Super Bowl to the Primetime Emmy Awards. So I really want to know what inspired you to develop a docuseries for OWN, spotlighting and uplifting Black women, celebrating this powerful sisterhood of women in Houston.
Well, I think first and foremost, who wouldn't want to develop for the Oprah Winfrey Network? So that is that right there is the kickoff. But, for me, I think the show honestly is, a representative of who Miss Winfrey is herself, the embodiment of a powerhouse woman who has shown us her heart, has shown us her hustle and seen the empire that she has built. And so for me, it started with just wanting to see more of me on camera and in a way that was positive and uplifting. I think that, obviously in reality television, we can fall prey to certain stereotypes, and that's really not who we are as a whole. And so it was very important to me to create a docuseries that followed beautiful, smart, successful Black women who wanted to show that they could do it all while at the same time deserving a little bit of rest, a little bit of peace. And it also came about because I do think that, we're constantly fighting the trope of like the strong Black woman and the superhuman, superhero Black woman who has to go to work and take care of their family and help with the bills and take care of the house and be a good wife and be a good mother and be a good daughter and be a good, sister. And there's just so much. It's an endless list that we have to do. And I think that sometimes because of the strength that we possess, people might perceive that we don't need rest. And that is absolutely not true. So I also want to turn kind of the strong Black woman trope on its head. And I think these women are doing it. They are strong, but they also are retired and we want to get some rest and we want to have some peace and we want to have love. And I think that we also deserve that soft girl life. And the reason I chose Houston is because I feel like it's an untapped city. And so, I think it's a city that we've seen a lot of Atlanta, we've seen a lot of New York, we've seen a lot of LA, but Houston has a huge growing population. And thanks to the leadership at OWN, honestly, there is no better team than Tina Perry, who is, as the president of OWN. She is absolutely stellar and top in class. And she saw something special in these women and said, we have to develop this. And then working with Drew Tappan and Shirley Salomon just to help bring it to life has absolutely been a dream come true.
Absolutely. So we know that OWN shows always allow us to see ourselves in real personalities and real relationships. So Alaina, I'm going to kick it to you. What does it mean to you to be open and authentic on unscripted TV and show audiences what it's like to work through real life relationship challenges many of us experience in our own lives?
For me, being authentic on unscripted TV, I will say it took me a while to adjust. I'm not going to lie, but it means showing up as my true self. I think with all the flaws, the unfiltered version of myself, it was good to just finally be me and allow myself to just be in the moment. I had to talk with myself. Either you're going to show up and you're going to be fake and phony and put on this persona like you're holding it all together, or you're going to really live your truth. And I decided for this, I'm going to live in my truth. And it's really all I can do. I'm not good at acting when it comes to my personal life. I feel like life isn't always perfect. It's not perfectly wrapped. You're not a perfect package. And I was raised to always appear that way. But I think with sharing my own journey, it will help so many people. And I hope that someone sees themselves in me, and I hope they feel seen and that they're not alone. And I hope it gives them a little bit of encouragement because relationships are not easy. They're complicated, they're beautiful, they're chaotic, but I want them to see the real, the raw, the truth.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
Chloe, we love that you are finding your happiness again and
Mhm.
claiming your female power and not letting the opinions of others hold you back. So, why is women empowerment and freedom important, and how do you want to inspire other women to live in their truths, even if it means redefining what's traditional?
I'm a firm believer in stepping out on faith and just kind of going for it, right? And so with me, I think it's important for women to see someone doing it because I could be helping someone else. And so a lot of people on my social media, they're like, I'm so inspired. I do things on a whim, right? That's just my nature, my entire life. And I think about it later, right? I just quit my job and I'm thinking about it now. I'm just like, okay, so where's the money coming from, But that's what I admire about myself. And I really want other women to just go for it, just go for what you know and step out on faith and trust God through the process. And He's going to guide you. I mean, my phone has been ringing off the hook since I quit my job, right? And people are wanting to book events. And I'm like, okay, should have said that sooner. So, here to motivate and inspire others, and hopefully, they can get the courage to push themselves outside of their comfort zone as well.
Absolutely. LeBrina, so you are the owner of an elite spa here in Houston. So talk to us about what you think makes Black women so beautiful and powerful. We also see on the show what an exceptional friend and confidant you are. So how would you describe the magic of Black female friendship?
The magic of Black female friendship, I would have to say, embodies self-care, like that laughter that you get from a good friend, or that ugly cry, when you're going through hard times. It's just so significant because, like Madison said, we are tired. We do go through things and we need to feel like we're loved and supported. And friendship embodies all of those things: love, support. You have the hiccups and, a little bit of cattiness here and there. That's what we do as women. But that's what make friendships unique. And, when it goes back into Black women in the wellness industry, we have never put ourselves first in that way. Just we've survived and been tired for so long that we don't take that time to say, you know what, I'm taking time for me. And now we're seeing a huge trend with that, with friends. They come into the spa all the time. It's becoming a social wellness trend. That's what I like to call it. So that's just a beautiful landscape of just friendships, wellness, the whole ordeal. It's becoming more of a thing in Black women, and I think it should be at the forefront of our lives and self-care.
Love to hear it. So, Latoria, as a PR powerhouse executive, you are always hyping others, supporting your friends, and finding ways to make a difference in Houston and beyond. We know that a big part of your mission is a commitment to philanthropy. So, what work are you involved with at the moment? And what have you discovered about yourself by allowing the spotlight to shine on you for once?
Well, for once, I just want to acknowledge Shelby. You're doing an awesome job. Shelby and I have been friends for 10 plus years, and I'm just so happy to see the space that she's in and the growth that she has. And so thank you for that. You inspire me as well.
Thank you.
As far as being a PR powerhouse, I always like to look at it as PR has been something that I really consider ministry, right? Like I feel like it takes a special person to help bring people's goals, dreams, and desires to life. And, it also takes a very trustworthy person, which is kind of how I got the nickname Latoria Secrets, because I know everybody's secrets and they pretty much are safe with me. So that's, something that I never take lightly that someone trusts just, my execution and my creativity and trust my company, Lemon Limelight Media. As far as philanthropy, for so many years I was doing philanthropy and I didn't even know that there was like a name for it because I was just doing what was on my heart. But I have an organization by the name of Let's Talk Teen Talk, where we do special events for teenagers. So we actually have a step show coming up on October 31st. And all of the proceeds go right back to the youth. So I use the funds from the step show to sponsor kids to go on HBCU college tours. And to date, I've been blessed to sponsor, I think, 82 kids from the Houston area to go visit Clark Atlanta, Morehouse Spelman, Xavier, Southern, and so forth. And so those are the passion projects that really fuel me, because obviously I work in a very stressful industry and very male dominated. So I feel like God gave me balance to follow my passions with the youth. So my heart is with the youth. I truly do believe they are the future. And I feel like if we take the necessary time with them, they can surpass us and be even greater than we are.
Absolutely. And huge shout out to HBCUs there. Have to mention that. So I love seeing such a strong representation of Black sisterhood with this show. Muneera, why is it important to surround yourself with other fabulous women who can inspire and lift you up? And how do you amplify this message in your work as a successful content creator?
Yeah, I think it's so important. I've honestly been really blessed to always have an amazing group of women surrounding me. I am biracial. My mom is Indian. My dad is African American, but I was predominantly raised on my Black side. So that's something that I've always embodied, from grandma to aunties to friends, being in a sorority, African American sorority in college. I think it's just so important because a lot of times I feel like us as Black women experience so many different things. But for whatever reason, even though they're different, we can all relate to each other. Experiences may be unique to each individual, but at the end of the day, there's so many levels that we can relate to each other. And a lot of times we think we're alone in situations until we start talking more, and until we start interacting with each other more, we realize, oh, that person has been through the same thing I've been through. So I think that just evolving over time, it's definitely been helpful to have supporting women around me. And that's why I really thought this show was beyond amazing, because we don't see that too often, especially in the reality TV space. There's been such a negative connotation about it. So I'm really excited that this is really coming to the forefront and changing how people just look at Black women and having a sisterhood and being able to have those conflict resolutions. But at the end of the day, what's important to all of us is we all want to excel. We want to grow. We want to, succeed in life. And I love that we're able to support each other throughout all of it.
Mm-hmm. I have to stop and give all of you ladies your flowers, because all of you are bosses who know how to get your point across when you need to. And yet we can also see your big hearts. And in the end, that family and friendship means everything to you ladies. So Roe, I want to ask you, how have you kept your heart and your hustle thriving in the male-dominated field of nightlife? And what advice would you give to other women to keep their hearts open, even when needing to keep up a tough exterior to thrive in their business?
I think just staying true to who you are and staying true to yourself. I think the industry that I work in, you can go so many different ways, good or bad, but as long as you just stay true to who you are and what you were raised on, then you'll be okay. What was the second question?
My second question was, what advice would you give to other women to keep their hearts open, even when needing to keep up a tough exterior to thrive in business?
I mean, keeping your heart open is I think you just got to have your belief in God. That's the only thing honestly, that's what saved me as far as my industry goes. Just keeping your faith, just believing that, that the stuff that you see in front of you isn't actually real, that it's all a facade for the nightlife. And again, just being true to being true to who you are, because the industry that I work in is just so fugazi. Everything seems like it's real, but it's not real. Everybody's rich, but they're not rich. You know what I'm saying? So you can get caught up in that. And again, just having your faith in God and just staying true to who you know you are before you came in. That's the best way to go do it.
Absolutely. So the bonds of sisterhood are so prominent in this series, and it's something that is really refreshing to see on television, and you all really thrive as a unit. I'd love to go down the line to see what advice or words of encouragement can each of you provide to other women out there as they're working to build themselves up. So Alaina, I'll start with you.
So I would have to say stop suffering in silence. I think for me, I've held in things for so long and it's just eaten away at me and it has stunted my growth just as like spiritually. And like Muneera said, there's so many things that you have in common with so many people, and you don't realize we're all going through the same thing. And so my mom, it was so funny. She was like, "Why do you have to be so transparent? Like, that's just who I am, and that's who I'm going to be because I already tried it the other way, where I was silent, not talking about what I'm dealing with, and I was hurting. I think we need to talk more." Like, forget that, like, don't share your business, don't say what's going on. We need to talk. So I encourage everyone to just, whether it's a friend, whether it's a therapist, just start talking about what you're going through and dealing with.
Absolutely. Chloe?
Mine would be my advice is let your guard down, and it's not really suffering in silence, but for example, when you go to networking events, I go to so many networking events and people have their arms folded and they're just not talking. I'm like, aren't we supposed to be networking? Like, I feel Black women, like, we have to do a better job at talking to one another, and you don't have to be suffering to talk to somebody, just talk. You just never know where those connections could lead. And I too suffer from that because I have social anxiety, believe it or not, I really do. And I'm an introvert. People don't believe that. But I do think it's important for all of us to step outside of our shell, whether you're an introvert or extrovert or what's the other one? The other one. Um, I'm not sure of that word, but
What is it?
yeah, just what is it?
Ambiverse?
Ambivert. Yes, when you're both. And so my thing is, we have to let our guard down. You never know who's in the room with you. You never know who can change your life in the blink of an eye. And I think that's very important. I feel Black women need to let their guard down. Baby, start talking to the person next to you because you just never know. Your life can change overnight.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Latoya?
So I would have to say, in addition to transparency, being expressive. So I've always been in a space, growing up just with like a single father. My dad, it took him a while to kind of open up and realize like the way men communicate is different than women. And so for me, I just kind of always kind of held things together and held it in. And that's not always the healthiest space. And so being amongst these ladies, I've been more expressive than I've ever been in my life. Like, in seeing that it's okay to cry, it's okay to have tears, it's okay to hug each other. It's okay to say, "Hey, I'm not my best right now." And I think that in being expressive, you learn transparency. And again, coming from a male-dominated industry as well, I'm used to being the only woman there, and I can't be expressive. I can't sit and cry. I can't say, "Oh, I'm having a bad day" or whatever. But being among strong women who have similarities, it's okay to say, "Hey, girl, listen, I'm not feeling it today," or "Hey, girl, I didn't like that," or "Hey," and find a resolve. And I think this experience amongst these ladies have also taught me that in life, it's okay to find a resolve as well. I'm used to just saying, "Hey, I'm non-confrontational. I walk away. I ain't got to talk to you ever again in my life, and I'm all right." But this is teaching me to work through it and heal through it.
Absolutely. LeBrina?
Okay, so I would have to say women just being okay with letting go of the fear of starting over and over and over again. Because what I found out, with failure, and I don't like to call it failure, but being okay that you don't thrive the best at something, right? I found out that the better version of myself within what I've started over in is waiting. So, like, I rediscover versions of myself over and over. every time I fail, every time, I let go of the fear of starting over. Starting over means new beginnings. It doesn't mean, sometimes we think that starting over means starting from the beginning, but no, it means a new beginning, but you're midway through now. Now you know how the
You got
intro
some
goes.
experience now.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got the experience under your belt. So every time I started over in something, even if it's within the same field or within the same exact same thing, right? I've aced it and I keep acing it. So I highly encourage women to be okay with going back to the drawing board, being okay with rediscovering themselves on a regular basis because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly growing, we're constantly, falling in love with different parts of us. So being okay with letting go of fear, starting over, and accepting failures.
I love
Thank you, LeBrina. I needed
Yeah,
that.
that was good. Appreciate
that was
that.
very good. Ro, I'm gonna kick it to you.
I just believe in just being okay with putting yourself first and not feeling guilty for it. I think as women that we always want to put our family first, our kids first, our career first, and if you are entrepreneur in your company first as well, that we always forget to put ourselves in the forefront. And then when you do that, you kind of beat yourself up, and then you wake up one day and you're like, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm upset, I'm sick, and I don't know why. It's because you putting everything else before you put yourself. So I just want women to know that it's okay to put yourself first without feeling guilty for it. It's okay to tell your child to go make some ramen noodles because you don't feel like cooking right now. It's okay to be a little late because you want to be extra pretty that day and then not beat yourself up behind it.
Mhm.
That was
And
good.
last but certainly not least, Muneera.
Well, all the ladies took all my stuff. But I would say all of the above, which, I wholeheartedly believe all of that. I think if I were to add anything else, I know for me, one advice I would give to other women, because I feel like that was a driving force on my drive and success and staying focused on goals, was at the end of the day, I always feared someone else being able to take away what I have obtained, whether that be finances, whether that be whatever it is. My goal was always to make sure that I could stand on my own 2 feet. And so no matter what, nobody would control my destiny and my path moving forward. So I think that's something that's really important for women, to just keep at the forefront. And in that process, you can go through all the things that the ladies mentioned, rediscovering yourself, being able to fail, and not knowing. Sometimes the unknown can be a scary place, but at the end of the day, always keep yourself first and know that no matter what happens, you'll be able to stand on your own 2 feet.
Absolutely. And Madison, I want to come back to you to close out this inspiring conversation. How do you think Heart and Hustle Houston is redefining unscripted television?
I wouldn't even say redefining. I would say refining.
Oh,
I think that these I
like
thank you, Chloe.
that.
I think that, we are, though. These women are thriving, and through the tears and the tea and the triumphs, we are telling a whole new story. I think, what I think about is what my mom always says to me when I call her wanting some advice. She always says to me, the strength of tea comes out in hot water. And the truth is that I've always wanted to do a show that showed conflict with class. I've never wanted to do that show where we were doing all the stuff that we were trying to negate for the black woman. I always believed in conflict with class. And I think that this show is showing us that we can have the hard conversations, that we can have the tough moments, and we come out better on the end. Because the truth is that growth doesn't happen when things are easy. Growth happens when things are tough. When you had those hard conversations, every single one of these women can talk about a moment where they leveled up in their personal relationship or their friendship because you had to have that hard conversation. And so for me, I think that we're refining the thought of what reality television is. We're showing sisterhood, we're showing imperfection, we're showing perfection too, because these women are absolutely fabulous, and I can't thank them enough for trusting us at Jesse Collins Entertainment with their stories and with their lives and being willing to open up to us. But I do think that we're showing that Black women are thriving, that we're advocating for ourselves, that we're asking for the things that we were told we couldn't have. And I think that as this message continues, is going to change how the world sees Black women.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for joining us for this special PALEYFEST Fall TV Previews conversation with OWN's Heart and Hustle Houston. Heart and Hustle Houston has 2 more episodes left this season. Catch it Saturdays at 9 p.m. on OWN. You can enjoy more of these programs by clicking the subscribe button below. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Shelby.
Thank you,
Thank
Shelby.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Shelby.
Shelby.